Have you ever walked into a room and sensed tension before anyone even said anything? Hi, Dr. Pasciucco here. If you want more content, hit like, subscribe, and the bell. So if you ever sensed tension in a room or felt a spark that made you deeply trust someone, that's a sign of nonverbal communication. These nonverbals shape our bonds, decisions, and even survival in very subtle ways that people overlook. We're going to dive deep into the functions today, backed by research, and talk about how these signals play a part in our adult lives. Remember that myth of the 93% of communication is nonverbal, 55% body language, 38% tone, and 7% words. Honestly, wild misinterpretation of a psychologist's work from the 1960s. In this book, Silent Messages, he focused pretty narrowly on the scenarios where people conveyed contradictory feelings about liking or disliking someone, using a tiny sample of women and 9 words. The formula was about emotional inconsistencies, where nonverbals can overpower words by a factor of 12, but only in those specific cases. In reality, nonverbals depend on context. For example, they do great in emotional exchanges, but you have to align words that work for clarity. One underrated role in how nonverbal cues broadcast positive emotions in things like family clusters to adapt to everyone's social needs. According to a review in one journal in 2017, positive emotions aren't a one-size-fits-all. They group together, like amusement from solving a puzzle. Things like pro-social companionship and helping a friend. Things like savoring or enjoying a moment. These are all different. For adults, this means nonverbals serve for adaptive purposes. A relief sigh helps you exhale that energy of negativity. When you're in awe, eyes widen. And things like awe during a team breakthrough can really help coordinating morale without even saying a word. There are also things like a gentle pat for gratitude, using touch to nurture a bond in an intimate relationship. Now, shifting gears to sounds without words, nonverbal vocalizations are game changers for emotional regulation and social signaling in adulthood. A 2024 review in Cognition and Emotion showed and spotlighted 5 different types: cries, laughter, moans, screams, and sighs. Each has evolved functions. Adults don't really cry like infants, but when an adult sobs, it signals distress and that someone needs support, which strengthens bonds through acoustic cues that prompt empathy. Laughter, not just for fun, it helps people work together. For example, office banter that subtly asserts status can help people work together. Fake laughing, that can help people feel polite during a tense negotiation. Moans often convey arousal or effort. Think about like a groan during a workout, or signaling persistence to a partner in the bedroom. Screams, often overlooked in adults, act as alarms for intense joy or fear, disorienting threats or attracting help in emergencies. And sighs? A deep one reduces stress, while socially it signals frustration or relief. These vocal nonverbals evolved to coordinate human interactions, from boardrooms to bedrooms where words might fail. A 2024 study in Computers and Human Behavior, Volume 157, found that in simulated medical scenarios, sad facial expressions on digital avatars were rated more empathetic than the pained one, with gaze and posture modulating perceptions. Women showed less variability in judgments than men, but this highlights how adults interpret nonverbals for emotional support. A nurse's open posture and eye contact can reassure a patient, boosting compliance actually by noticeable levels. Speaking of which, 2022 Model in Healthcare, Volume 10 from Cameroon reveals nonverbal bridge language barriers in elder care, gestures like hand-holding to convey reassurance. That led to improved satisfaction and adherence, countering against stereotypes. Here, functions include relationship building, waving to initiate contact, and empathy conveyance. Touch helps show care, turning a sterile environment into a human connection. Nonverbals like crossed arms spike patient anxiety, while mirroring builds rapport. In everyday adult relationships, nonverbals drive perceived responsiveness, the sense that someone truly gets you. A 2023 review talks about things like nodding, warm tones, and touch, Those things help get a faster, weightier signal than words when you're in an emotional context. Congruent smiles and open body language show verbal support, fostering trust in friendships or partnerships, while mismatches erode that. What do you think about these subtleties? Is it crucial for adults juggling complex social webs to get this nutrient? Comment below. Research shows how nonverbals can dominate in really charged moments. To me, nonverbals aren't just an accessory, they're important, but you have to know what you're saying too, because the words also matter. Start noticing things like your nonverbals, your size, your posture. It might say more than you think. Practice mirroring in conversation the body language of the person talking to you. I'm Amanda Pasciucco, and I'll see you in the next one.